ball, week 13. We got to answer some questions. Um, is Texas going to be able to hold off Kentucky and keep their lead in the SEC? Is Indiana going to be able to go into Columbus and upset Ohio State? And is
Mm.
Florida going to trap Ole Miss down there in the slump? All right. Let's get into it. So the noon game, I know it's a big game, but it's the noon game. I don't know why they did this. Normally, big games like you got a top five matchup, man. You got to play that under the lights. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like this is Fox be
Yeah.
messing up. But yeah, Indiana at Ohio State, man. Who y'all got?
Yeah, I got Ohio State. I get all the hype around Indiana, right? I get that they beaten every team that's on their schedule, right? But when I look at the last game that they played, which was against Michigan, and I watched that entire game, right? When the talent was a lot better, yes, they won that game. However, it wasn't the blowouts that they have been having against all those other teams, right? Um, and I just think across the board, Ohio State is very talented. And I just believe that they're going to go in and they're going to get beat significantly by Ohio State today. And Ohio State has a lot to prove too.
Yep.
And I know we'll get into all this later, but I mean, if Ohio State loses this game, now they're in the threat of not making the playoff, right? So I think they're going to come out and they're going to dominate Indiana.
Man, I like what Signetti's done in Indiana. First 10-win season, and who knows how long, but that strength of schedule, if I'm not mistaken, is like 103rd, right?
Yeah.
This is the first real test they're going to have. Michigan was a test, but Michigan is not the Michigan that was last year. I think Ohio State wins, and I think it's going to be over 14, man. I know the line went down from 14 down to 10, but I think Ohio State is going to go. They're going to take it. It's going to be over 14.
Yeah. As bad as I want Signetti, Mr. Google me, I'm a winner.
Yeah.
As much as I want him to win, I don't think they are. I would feel a little different if Indiana was at home. I'm not saying that they would win at home. I'm just saying I would feel a little better if they were at home to cover. Um, but man, playing at Columbus, oof, yeah. Ohio State is just they're going to be too good on the offensive line, the defensive line, and the playmakers that they have on the outside. I do think Ohio State wins, and I think they cover.
One thing that watching game day this morning, they said Indiana has like 35 5 and 6 year seniors on their team, so their
Mhm.
experience. So that might play a role. But I think just like I said, man, Ohio State got a lot of ballers on that team.
Yeah. I mean, like I
All
said,
right,
this is the
next.
best. This the best offense they're gonna face too.
Yeah.
They faced all year, so it's gonna be a challenge for them too, man.
Yeah, I agree. The next game on the slate: Wake Forest at Miami.
Mm. Miami all day, man. It's easy. Hey, Miami has to bounce back. That is one thing I'm gonna say. Miami cannot go out there and struggle, win by a field goal in the fourth quarter or Cam Ward miracle play. Miami has to come out and put a big lead and win decisively because they're already looking at them at that loss at Georgia Tech. That hurt a lot. And another close game, and then they got Syracuse after. And Syracuse is going to be a game that they have to win also. If not, they're out of the playoffs, out of the ACC championship probably. So
Yeah, so I got Miami winning this one as well. I think they know that they're on the ropes again. Uh I believe that because they know that they're on the ropes, they're gonna play a lot better. right? I think the biggest thing everybody knows Miami's offense is good. It's that defense. The defense has to do better. And I think they're going to show up today against Wake Forest.
I agree. I think they drag Wake Forest. Wake Forest is not very good. I got Miami winning and covering.
Yeah. They didn't think Georgia Tech was that good either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Georgia Tech is a running football team, man. Y'all can't stop the run.
Yeah. Georgia Tech is gonna give Georgia problems too, I think, next week. So
yeah,
don't feel too bad about it.
I agree. I mean, that's a conversation for next week, but I agree.
Yeah.
Next game on the slate, Ole Miss going down to the swamp. Trap game or what?
No, I don't think it's a trap game. Again, and I know it's game time for pretty much everybody, right? It's lose or go, win or go home. And again, I just don't see Ole Miss, whose backs against the wall, right, barely into the playoff, and they're where they want to be at right now. I don't see them going in and flopping and losing this game. I think they go in and hammer Florida big time down there in the swamp.
Hey, man. Last week I called that upset. You know what I'm saying? It was a perfect storm for LSU to come in there and lose, coming off that ass whooping by Bama. Kelly coming into the swamp, but that ain't going to happen this week. Hey, Ole Miss is going to show Florida why they are in the college playoffs right here, as of right now, right? Ole Miss is going to dominate. DJ Lagway is going to have a good game. The freshman running back, can't remember his name. They're going to have they're going to have some highlights, but Ole Miss is going to take it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ole Miss defense is too good, especially the front seven. They didn't have some issues in the secondary. Don't get me wrong. So DJ Lagway using his legs and throwing on the run, might catch them a few times, but that front seven of Ole Miss is just, I mean, they're pretty dominant. So I think Ole Miss wins and cover. Spread is at 13.
Yeah, way easy.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss wins by at least 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Another game, SMU at Virginia.
Yeah, SMU is a team that has to continue to impress the committee. They have no room for error. They have to win this game today, and I think they have to do it impressively. And again, I'm looking at everything for in the next 2 weeks, right? Because they got a lot of teams that's still behind them. Say they do make it to the ACC championship game, they still got Colorado, BYU. They got all these other teams that's there posing them a challenge. So SMU's they got to come out, and I think they will, and beat Virginia handedly today.
Hey man, if I'm not mistaken, I think SMU wins, they're in, right, for the ACC title. I think they win this game, they secure their spot in the championship game.
Virginia, I thought they already punched their ticket. They didn't.
No,
I don't think they have.
They can. Well,
because they don't have no losses in the ACC.
If they win today,
Clemson got 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami got 1, right?
Miami got 1.
Yeah. So I think they automatically.
Okay.
Yeah. With this win, yeah, they're in there. Because that's what I'm reading right now. But
oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, they play Cal too. So they win this one. They in there.
But I don't think it's gonna be an easy win for SMU in Virginia. Virginia is one of those teams, man. They depends who wakes up that morning, how they gonna show up and play.
Right? Sneaky team. Yeah.
This is a trap game for real. I think SMU pulls it out, but they're not gonna cover.
Yes, SMU minus 11.
Mm-hmm.
I actually bet on this game, but I took the over.
Yeah.
Over 54.5. So I think it'll be a high scoring affair.
SMU.
Yeah. Hey, so I just read it says SMU has they have to win their next 2 games to clinch a spot.
And this is crazy, right? Because first year in the ACC
to clinch a spot in the ACC championship game.
Yeah. It says SMU
But
has
they
a
had
lot to play for. The Mustangs are 9-1 and can clinch a spot in the ACC championship with the win in the next 2 games.
that don't even make sense because Clemson.
It does make sense because Clemson has 2 losses. If SMU was to lose the next 2 games, then
I'm saying if they lost one, like even if
Yeah.
they lost one game, I think they would still be in.
yeah, but then I think it would become between Miami and Clemson who would be the opponent.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. It's an interesting game for it being a 5-5 UVA. It's an interesting game. How implications it could have, right? So that's just,
yeah. Now we're going to talk about these next few games: Massachusetts at Georgia, and UTEP at Tennessee. Let's
Massachusetts.
see. Yeah, that's not even. Penn State at Minnesota. Could be a trap game.
Penn State, man. This is typical Penn State, right? They're a solid 1-loss team, and I think they're gonna just do enough to get in their foot in the door. But I take Penn State on this one.
Yeah, I think Penn State wins. If they lose, they're out of the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna win. I think they may struggle because it is they are in Minnesota, but I think they'll win the game. Yeah, row your boat, huh?
Yeah, I got Penn State in this one, but I do think Minnesota keeps it close in the first half. But I think the run game eventually of Penn State is going to wear down Minnesota.
All right.
Kentucky at Texas.
Whew. Man, Texas. I think y'all win. I don't think it's going to be, but this is just going to further fuel the, oh man, Texas schedule. I'm just saying, Texas wins. They're at home. They ain't got no reason to even let Kentucky get nowhere near them. I think it's, what is it? Texas minus 18.5, roughly around there.
18.5, yeah. The line started at 21 and has dropped down to
I'm just saying
18.5.
Texas need to just do what they are doing to secure their spot. But the strength of schedule conversation keeps popping up.
I'm gonna let Ron go, and then I'm gonna go,
man. I think Texas wins. The biggest thing, Kentucky has a good defense. They just don't have any offense, and Texas has a pretty good offense. And I think if they get behind early, I just don't see Kentucky being able to catch back up or make it a game. So I got Texas in this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't want nobody sleeping on Kentucky, right? At all. Solid defense. They play up and down to the level of the competition, right? So in their games against Ole Miss, who they beat, Tennessee, who they lost to, and then Georgia, who they lost to by 1 point, they've only been outscored 58-50 in those 3 games. So they play competitive football against good teams. I just hope my guys don't overlook them, right? Which I doubt they haven't. I know Sark is giving them that message. And they come out there and ball. I do not think we covered that 18.5, but I do think we win the game.
Man, you selling it like Ron was selling Mercer being 9-1 last week. You selling it?
No, I'm not selling. I'm not selling. Oh my god!
I feel the same way, Ed. I felt the same way just there. Come on,
man.
Stop. Stop.
Hey,
Stop.
hey,
Stop.
Ron used to. Hey, what Ron used to always tell me, man, when y'all come to the SEC, it's a grind week in and week out. I ain't trying to hear nothing about no week schedule, man. It's a grind week in and week out. Anybody can be beat on any Saturday. That's what I've been told. And now that we at the top of the SEC, we ain't played nobody. Make it make sense, man.
Hey, man.
Everybody in the SEC, a bunch of haters out here, man. A bunch of haters in the SEC.
And they can't have that newcomer coming in and being competitive.
I know. That's what they don't want. They acting like we made our own schedule. We ain't make our schedule, man. It was drawn that way.
Man.
Talk to Greg Sankey, man. You got problems with the schedule, talk to Greg Sankey, man.
You sold it though, AB. You good, man. You good. Kentucky, they're a dangerous opponent, man. We got it.
Dangerous opponent.
It's
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
58 to 50 in those 3 competitive games, man.
Okay.
Listen, we lost to Georgia by 15. They lost by 1.
Week 3, 4.
Hey, went into Oxford and knocked off Ole Miss. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
All right.
Not a close game.
Yeah, not a close game at all. No.
Oh man. And they got some key defenders back. I'm just throwing it out there. Next game on the slate, BYU at Arizona State. Hey, this game, let me backtrack a little bit. This game has Big 12 championship implications.
Yeah.
If Arizona State beats BYU, they're going to be in the driver's seat. So, what y'all got? All the spread is Arizona State is favored by 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they're at home. So they're, that's telling us, the rule of 3. But yeah, go ahead.
Ooh. Hey, I got Arizona State at home, man. I'm taking this game. I don't see BYU bouncing back, and this is going to be great for Big 12 because it also gives Colorado an inside lane too. You know what I'm saying? Or it gives them some more opportunity there. But I'm taking Arizona State at home. I'm taking they're going to shock them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got Arizona State as well. BYU, every game they've had has been a close win, basically, right? And
like Miami?
Yeah, true.
Had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I hate it right now, bro.
But I'm gonna go with Arizona State here too, man. They've been looking strong down the stretch. And right now, I just think they're probably one of the stronger teams right now in the Big 12. And I think Arizona State is trending up and BYU is trending down. So I'm rolling with Arizona State this time.
Yeah. Their 2 losses are at Texas Tech and at Cincinnati for Arizona State. I'm sticking with it though, man. I think I got they're riding the momentum into the season right now.
Yeah, I too. I'm gonna go with Arizona State, but I'm picking BYU to cover. I'm thinking this gonna be like a 24 to 23 game. Because BYU's defense is good. So I don't think that Arizona State is just gonna mop them at home.
No.
Next game, Colorado at Kansas. Again, this game, Big 12 championship implications on the line here. I think that this is a trap game because Kansas started off the season terrible, and they've been on the roll these past 4 games, and they're not turning the football over. They're playing keep away, time of possession. This, I don't know. Colorado's favored by 2.5. Oh.
Kansas. Pulled that upset last week. Right?
Yeah, so Colorado has only played one team that's in the top 40 all season, and they lost, and that was Kansas State. Right, Kansas, they're not in the top 40 as of yet, but they're trending that way, right? They've beat the last 2 weeks, they beat Ohio State and BYU. And since they are at Kansas, I'm gonna go with Kansas in the upset in this one. I know Colorado is trending. Dion has done a great job turning them around, but I think this is the buzzsaw. I think they run into a buzzsaw today with Kansas, a team that's hot, and I think that they whoop them.
Man, this is a tough choice, man, because Kansas is, like you said, has the momentum, but so does Colorado, man. Colorado's been riding that wave now for a couple weeks. Kansas at home is a 2.5. Who, to me, is going to come down to who has the better playmakers, right? And I think Colorado has the better playmakers, so I'm going to take them in a close one. And it just comes down to I have better players than you. That's you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm taking.
Yeah.
Okay. I picked Kansas last week to upset BYU, right? They were my super team last week, and it worked out. Man, as much as I want to pick Kansas to upset Colorado, I don't know if it's going to happen. Colorado's run defense has improved significantly, and I think they're going to make it tough on Kansas to run the ball. Playing in cold weather, that's not going to affect Colorado. They play in cold weather. Yeah, I got Colorado winning. Slim margin, though. Slim margin.
Yep, close game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Stay away from that one if you bet.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these Missouri Tigers. Do they get some get back and get a win over Mississippi State?
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Brady Cook's been back too. So yeah, I got them winning easily over Mississippi.
They played South Carolina tough last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
yeah. Looking at the college football show, a lot of people was upset that they were still ranked in the top 25, but I still think without Brady Cook being, if Brady Cook wasn't hurt, right, against Alabama, I think they would have given Alabama more of a game. Since he's returned, I think they are a top 25 team. So yeah.
Yeah, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They're 9.5. So
yeah. All right, Army is traveling. Oh, actually, not traveling nowhere. They're playing that game at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. So yeah, Army at Notre Dame.
Hey, Army 120 something or 100 something straight of schedule. They're up there in some of the easiest schedule, right? And they're 9-0. They're riding that wave. I think Notre Dame's gonna put it on them, man. It's gonna be kind of like the same thing with Notre Dame met Navy, right? Navy was up on that hype, but I think Notre Dame is gonna win. I'm taking Notre Dame to cover at 14.
Yeah, same here. Again, Navy's that team back against the wall. They know they can't lose, and they looked at they defended Navy pretty well. I know Navy and Army is two different teams, but Army strength of schedule, they haven't faced a team like Notre Dame today, and I think that the Irish come out and win this game easily.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're gonna put the whipping on Army like they did Navy, because Navy turned over. I mean, they had like 6 turnovers, so I don't think it'll be that bad. But I do think they win and they covered 14.
Do I hope that Army beats Navy? Yes. Or I mean, Army beats Notre Dame. I'm sorry, Army beats Notre Dame. Yes.
Yeah.
Dame is.
that would be crazy, because then they'll be out of there. They have no more. They have no room for error.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
If that happens, it clears one more team out of that top 12 jump code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want them to lose, right? I'm saying this straight up. I want them out of there. Join a conference.
I agree with that.
Yeah, people not gonna
That's what
like this, but if they lose, all that's gonna do is make room for Tennessee to get out, another SEC team to get up in the fold.
Right. But it's something like kind of like Ed was just saying though. They need to get in the conference, man. They haven't played a
Yes.
true road game since I think it was week 2, week 3, something like that. But all the games have been either at home or like those, like you said, those venue games like that where they go into a big stadium like the Yankee Stadium, or they played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they haven't had like a true road game.
Yeah. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And they got USC at home next week. So yeah.
All right. Bama at Oklahoma.
You want to take this, Ron? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll take it. First, it's gonna be a cold weather game. It was supposed to be pretty windy out there tonight. But I think Alabama wins the game by like anywhere from 10 to 14 points. I think they rely heavily on their run game. And I said Oklahoma's defense is good. And I think they would have given Alabama a lot of issues if they were throwing the ball a lot this game. But I think because they said the win is going to be a factor, I think Alabama wins it pretty handily today. So yeah, I got Bama.
I hate to say this, man, but I think Oklahoma for the next few years is going to be on the bottom tier of the SEC alongside Vandy. And I'm just not. I'm not talking shit. It's just Texas came prepared, right? They went and got the head coach, the players. It seems like Oklahoma didn't come in prepared for this. Right? Alabama's going to whoop their ass today. It's not even going to be. I have Bama all the way. Milrow going to have one of those crazy, like he ran for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns type day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm right on board with you, man. I said before we started, before we went live, that if you don't have a quarterback in college football, you don't have anything. And Oklahoma does not have a quarterback. Their defense is good, but their offense can't score points. And so their defense is, they're playing 75, 80 snaps a game. They tired, you know what I mean? So they're wears on you after the game. Yeah, I got Bama by 30.
Ooh, Lord, no.
30.
I'm telling you right now, Oklahoma offense so terrible.
It is, and I see they got another wide receiver out this week too. But
look,
yeah.
Texas, we beat them. I think it was 32-3 or something like that. So y'all got Jalen Milrow who can use his legs. Quinn Ewers, he ain't no scrambling guy.
Yeah, true.
So,
all right.
And y'all gonna get a couple turnovers. They good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they named Jackson Arnold as the starting quarterback again.
They did.
And I think he has like 7 interceptions, 8 fumbles, something crazy. He didn't put the ball on the ground a lot. So, yeah.
Okay.
Texas A&M traveling to Jordan Hare. Now, I'm going to start by saying this, right? I was about to say Jimbo. Jesus Christ. Mike Elko. Mike Elko had his little press conference and said they were focused on Texas. Had the little slip up and said, Auburn. Said they not looking ahead, and they even has the slip up. Auburn has played everybody close at home. They have made those games competitive at home. They haven't been able to close out games in the fourth quarter, right? Due to inconsistent quarterback play. Texas A&M is only favored by 1.5. This could be a trap game for Texas A&M with the SEC championship implications on the line, right? Because if they drop this game, that's going to bump Georgia ahead of them.
I'm looking at this schedule, man. What you got, Ron? I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now for Auburn. Or their
Yeah,
loss.
so as AB said, they have played pretty much everybody pretty close all year. Auburn has. The biggest thing for Auburn is they need a quarterback, right? And Peyton Thorne is scheduled to start again. But I'm with AB. This is the senior night down there tonight. Uh, I think that Auburn is going to upset Texas A&M tonight. The last time Texas A&M went on the road was to South Carolina, and they got blown out 44-20. Right, so I think that they're going to go in there. I know they got the big heads, but I think they're going to go in there and they're going to lose tonight against Auburn, man. And Auburn needs this win. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they need to win against Bama to get into the bowl games. I had to look at their record again.
Yeah, that's true. They're 4-6 right now.
Yeah. So
be boys.
Yep. So I think they at least get that one win tonight.
I think maybe we're all onto something, right? Because Texas A&M 100% is looking 1 week ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that no, Auburn. They see Auburn losing the games to Cal and teams like that, and they're like, no, I think A&M gets shocked. It's tonight at Auburn, so I'm taking Auburn.
Yeah.
Man, as bad as I want to go at Auburn, they have not proved to me that they can close out games, and I think A&M wins a tight one. I think they win a tight one. Yeah.
Senior night down there. I'm telling you, man, I just seen it on the TV earlier today.
And they're gonna be hype. I get it. I think Texas A&M defensive line them a little bit too much for Peyton Thorne.
Yeah,
he's a travesty. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inconsistent. Good at times, terrible at others.
Yeah.
So the last game on the slate tonight, 7:30 on Fox, is Iowa State at Utah.
Yeah.
Iowa State is still in the Big 12 race, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Utah, I think this is a disappointing season, man. Like
injuries.
Mm-hmm. Man, I expected them to be in the hunt, but they're not. And I'm taking Iowa State on this one. Even though they're at home at Utah, I'm taking Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa State. I think it's going to be close, though, because they are playing at Utah. But I do think that Iowa State wins this game.
Yeah, I got Iowa State winning, too, because Utah, bro, they've lost. They started off 4-0, right? They will pick to finish, I want to say, first or second in the Big 12, right, before the season started. They've dropped 6 games in a row. That is crazy. Started off the season 4-0 and then dropped 6 straight. Like I said, injuries, right? No quarterback. You ain't got a quarterback. You ain't got nothing. So, and they've lost close games. And those 6 losses, I mean, they lost by 7 to Arizona State, by 6 to TCU, by 3 to Houston, by 1 to BYU. And, of course, last week they got blown out by Colorado. But other than that blowout, it's all been close games with like that third-string quarterback. So tough injury luck.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick yourself up after 6 straight losses,
man. You know what type of motivation you need to get up after knowing? Oh man, yeah. But they got to win the next 2 if they want to go bowling. So
yeah,
it's some Rocky type shit. Knocked out of the mat.
Oh man. All right. So another thing I wanted to talk about was LSU, Brian Kelly, and them losing the number 1 recruit in the nation in Bryce Underwood. Man, what do y'all think?
Ooh, my buddy Brian Kelly. Hey, I've never liked this fit for him there at LSU, and he doesn't have it, man. He's that loss to Florida is devastating when you think about it. The better team is LSU, the most experienced players, everything. You are supposed to go into the swamp and win decisively. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
LSU has been soft on all aspects pretty much almost this entire year. This is why Brian Kelly he's on the hot seat, and then now you're dropping recruits, right? So it's that trickle effect. You're not winning, and then your recruits start going. He's he's on the hot seat, and rightfully so, man. There's not many. I mean, the SEC is a tough conference. Everybody, but LSU is like one of the top schools. They can give the recruits they want almost every year. Every recruit they target, if they're going after somebody hard, then most of the time they land them. But it's not happening, and I don't blame the kid. Also, that bag that he got offered, money talk, bullshit walk, man. So
Every time.
yeah, man.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna go first because I
Mm,
know Ron. He feel a certain way about Bryce Underwood going after the money, right? I
mm.
think Brian Kelly job is on the line, right? I didn't think he was a good hire for LSU in the first place. I thought he should have stayed up north, right? His I didn't think he matched the culture of Louisiana, but Bryce Underwood getting the money, I'm not mad at him, right? You got NFL players who don't make that in they rookie contract, so. And I mean, it's crazy that Michigan is even paying him that much money without playing one snap of college football. Um, would I pay somebody that amount of money? Hell no. But they are, and he's taking it. So, young man, go get your money.
And go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's how desperate Michigan is to win. You're gonna offer
Absolutely.
untested high school player who's playing against kids. These kids playing against kids, right? But you're paying them that much money to come to you. That's just to me, that's desperate.
Yeah. First, I'm gonna hit on the Brian Kelly thing. Yes, I agree. I thought Brian Kelly was a good fit for LSU. True enough, he's been a great coach. He's won everywhere he's been,
Oh yeah.
right? I mean, even at Notre Dame, he got them to the BCS championship game, and he got them to the college football playoff, right? And the question was always, hey, he just needs more talent. It's hard to get it at Notre Dame because of the academic standards, right? All right, but I thought if he got the talent that he needed down at LSU, he'd be a solid, coach down there. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out that way. Um, last year he led, he helped Jayden Daniels win the Heisman Trophy, but his defense stunk. This year he got a defensive coordinator from Missouri who had a hot defense last year, and they're still struggling to find their way. Um, I don't think he deserves to be fired this year. I think you give him one more year, but he can't lose to Vandy and he can't lose to Oklahoma. If he does lose to those two teams, he's out of there. I think LSU fans are already fed up with the way their season is going. They haven't looked this way, even with Ed or Jerron. They feel like they haven't looked this way in a long time, right? So, um, I I think he deserves at least one more year, right? And as far as the Bryce Underwood thing, I get it. For me personally, I would say go to where you're gonna win at. And I look at, something that Courtney Morgan, the Alabama GM, said is always transformational, not transactional, right? So what is your goal, right? Is it to be a good player and get you to the next level? Or are you looking at the money right now? I just think this is crazy where we're going to. NIL was not meant for players to be paid to come play. It was meant for them to be able to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. Right. And
Yeah.
I just feel that where we're going right now, we're going down a dangerous path. Because now we're playing, like you said, AV, a guy that's unproven,
Yeah.
$10 million, right? And we look at how many number one recruits have never panned out, and there's a lot of them,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I was looking at the thing he was talking about Shadur Sanders when they did the transfer portal. He was like the 6th or 7th quarterback in the transfer portal. All the quarterbacks that were above him, like a Hudson Card, and there was some other ones, they haven't panned out. So I just think you want to go for somebody that's proven. You want to pay all that money for somebody that's proven versus somebody that's unproven.
Yeah, 100% agree on that one, man. Because paying somebody to coming from, like, let's say, just for example, Caleb Downs proved himself at Alabama first year, and then he gets a big bag to go to Ohio State.
Right.
Hey, I get that, man. The kid was amazing, but like a high school kid, like you said, it's a risk. I think it's setting now that that number is at 10. Now we saw this. I think it was last season with the Gators going after a quarterback.
Yep, it was last season.
Yeah, it was last season. But now this one should pan out. He's going to go there. Now these 5-star QBs are going to be like, well, Bryce Underwood got 10. They're going to start, having these holdout or trying to hold out for that big payday, man.
Yeah, but it's also going to come down to how desperate your team is, right? If you got quarterbacks on your roster, you're not about to pay nobody that much money. Michigan is they're in a dire situation over there, and they can afford to pay them. That's a big school. They top 3 in profit for college football, so they can afford to pay them.
Right? Why they're not thinking with their head? But you're Michigan. Why are you going to throw this $10 million to a high schooler? You can throw that money to a transfer portal QB. You can entice next year, what's his name? The Vandy quarterback. You can throw money at him to come play next year and be relevant right away.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, AB.
I was saying they're desperate, right? They fall into desperation because what they don't want to happen is them to get in a situation to where they were for so many years being behind the 8 ball and being behind Ohio State, right? They don't want to end up in that situation. So they threw all that money hoping that it pans out. And if it doesn't, they're going to look foolish. But now, if it does work out and this kid ends up being a fucking generational talent, they're going to look like the smartest motherfuckers in the world.
For me, I rather see. I look at Cam Ward, right? So, like I said, Cam Ward, 0-star recruit coming out of high school, and he made his bones, right? He started Incarnate Word, then he went to Washington State. He's a proven commodity. I'm good with them giving him $10 million, right? If that was the case, but I'm not gonna go for a guy that I only seen play in high school. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give him $10 million to come there and. What if he doesn't pan out? I've seen it. Blake Barnett for Alabama. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, and he did not pan out at Bama. And then he transferred. Jalen Hurts was a true freshman and came in and started over him. And he ended up having to transfer. And I just I don't see it, man. I don't see it,
man.
Yeah.
They chomping at the bits for a good QB. And I think you're going a little too early.
Yeah. And then the last thing on it for me, what about your locker room? I mean, now you get paying this guy all this money. What about the linemen? What about the running backs? What about the linebacker? You know what I mean? Like, how do they feel? You know what I mean? Like, maybe they feel like Michigan not paying them enough money. Hey, you went out and paid this kid $10 million. It's unproven. I'm here, and I'm only getting $20,000. You know what I mean? Like, I just think they made a huge mistake with that.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Desperation.
Hey, you got the money to spend, but that's just like reckless spending.
Yeah.
Well, $10 million, you could have got 5-star offensive linemen, and you could put a average QB in the back, and they're going to win you a championship.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at, like they said, last year, Ohio State, they spent $20 million in the portal, though, not on a recruiting class, but
Yeah.
in the portal.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, man. Still, goodness gracious.
Yeah. And then, as Saban always say, how is this going to be sustainable over the long periods of time? You know what I mean? Like, how is this sustainable, man?
It's not. We're gonna hit a brick wall eventually, but college football is good right now, so I'm gonna take it while it's good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I ain't-
No Diddy.
Yeah, it's
Oh
not
man.
sustainable, man. What I got one more thing before we go. The college football playoff rankings that came out. What did you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Ed.
It's hard to have an opinion because it's going to change this week.
Right.
Indiana or Ohio State bounced out, right? So for me, it was like, yeah, I see it. And the way they explained it, the bye week is the 4 top conference champions.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, that's just the top 4. No, it's the top ranked conference champions. So, I mean, every team, Boise State getting a bye week, people were like shocked about that. But they're the top ranked as of right now, favorite. So they would get the bye week. But I'm just saying, some of those games, Bama, Notre Dame, nobody want to see that, man. That's going to be a lopsided ass whooping.
No, it wasn't Bama Notre Dame. It was
It was Bama Notre
Was
Dame.
it Bama, Notre
it
Dame?
was Bama Notre Dame. Oh yeah. It was Georgia Penn State.
Yeah, Georgia Penn
Penn
State.
State, another
Yeah.
lopsided ass. That was those first games there.
One of the things that I did like about it, like for the SEC, that would be a game changer because you got these SEC teams in the South who not used to, super cold weather. They would be traveling to these spots at Penn State, at Indiana, at Notre Dame, where it's going to be snow on the ground. It's going to be cold as hell, right? You can't simulate that in practice. You know what I'm saying? Practicing in the snow and stuff like that. That would put them at a disadvantage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I seen this idiot on Twitter yesterday saying the same thing. I don't think it matters, man. I don't think it's that
You don't think
big
the
of an
weather matters?
I don't think it's that big of an advantage. No. I don't think it's that big
I
of
think
an advantage.
that's a big advantage, man.
That is.
If you telling me if I'm Miami, right,
Mhm.
or I'm Bama,
Right.
and I got to go play in the snow in Indiana, they have no games up there. They ain't played in that weather. That
Okay.
is going to be and I'm not saying it's going to help them win the game. No, I'm just saying their game planning, things that they want to do, they're going to have to make a
Mhm.
lot of adjustments.
Are those teams practicing in the snow though?
Yeah.
They're not. They're not. They're practicing in their
But they play
training
games.
facilities.
They play games in it though.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that they're used to it.
And so, all right, coaches are going to get their teams ready to go. But if you've experienced a cold weather game in the snow, and I can say this from just down in Florida, we played in the rain all the damn time. Teams struggle playing in the rain, right? Throwing the ball and stuff like that. That played to our advantage. Now it's just flipped, right? Down south, right? The good weather, Alabama hosting their field, they would, that's an advantage. But like you said, you're going to play up north where it's like an inch of snow on the field, and you have never experienced that. The Bama's freshman, what's his name? That wide receiver?
Come on,
Ryan
Williams.
Ryan Williams. Yeah, Ryan Williams ain't going to have a spectacular game in a snow game like that. They're going to run the ball, right? It's going to bring the level to a closer.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to change the outcome of the game, but it will somewhat level the playing field.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's going to be who has the better. In those snow games like that, whose offensive line can block to win. Because, your playmaker is ball grip, slippage, right? Bad field condition. So your outstanding fast players, your break players, They're gonna have to slow it down a little bit. Whose offensive line wants it more at that point?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it comes out, man. I think all the games are not going to be hosted by the Big Ten. I think that is going to change this weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're
Don't
right.
change two more times.
Yeah, I do agree. I do think it could possibly be some type of advantage, but I don't think the teams are going to be thinking like that. Like, hey, oh my God, we got to go up in the cold and play. I just think they'll go out there. Yeah, they may have some things they got to figure out, but I still think they would dominate up there. It's just me. Georgia, if Georgia going to Penn State, yeah, I just
wonder, has it ever happened where Georgia traveled to Penn State in the winter? I just don't know.
They haven't, because they usually are. They already in their conference games by the end.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
it's tough environment.
We're gonna see. All right, man. Well, that does it for this episode of the Unboxed Room. Appreciate y'all joining us live. Week 13 college football. Maybe we'll see y'all Tuesday for the playoff ranking. Y'all want to link up on Tuesday?
Let's chat on Tuesday, man, before we eat turkey.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yep.
Y'all be easy.
Peace.
Hey, let's check before we start talking shit.
I ended the session, so hopefully.
Yeah. Good.
Over there last week eating.
Oh!
It got me.